Rain there, very familiar with what goes on with the policing departments there. So Mika, salimia audience and let us know, what you think about what you've had from Mama Avo and what you had from Leon. Mika, twende kazi.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Mika, can you hear us? I think we've lost Mika. We are gonna try to.
He's there, but.
Or maybe have you?
Hello, can you hear me?
Okay, now we can hear you, Mika.
Yeah.
Can you hear me, Eli?
Yes.
Yes,
loud and clear.
loud and clear.
Okay, Mika.
All right, so I just want to welcome everybody to today's edition of the OneMicShow, everybody who was tuned in. And I want to say a big thank you to Leon and the pastor, and also the whole panelists, everyone who's here with us. I know, Ali, you've said that I do live in Richmond. I actually live in Midlothian in Chesterfield County, which is like the next county to Henrico. But I don't want to talk about Virginia's policing today. Just wanted to ask Leon, because we are celebrating the life of Avo. I wanted to ask Leon, for those of us who have never met him, a lot of our listeners have never, don't really have an idea who Avo was. The way he's been described just around the community, the way you hear the people who know you and your family speaking about him, it's in great light, it's in great words. I just wanted to give you a chance to allow us to get to know your brother as you knew him and as you grew up with him, and some of the memories of him that will always live with you. And Pauline Nisana.
If I may, my brother Ivo was a goofy kid, man. Back when he was a kid, he was interested in playing a lot outdoors. He loved going to, the basketball court, the YMCA, swimming, playing with the water gun, going to the pool. Just riding bicycles. I'm reminded of when I was a kid in Nairobi, Kenya, and we lived in Komarok, and if I got on a bike, and many of us can relate.
When
if you got on a bicycle, you were gone the whole day.
When you say Komarok, eh?
Komarok, yeah.
1960.
see that far back, but I can only say that as a young child, he was very ambitious. If I told him, "Oh, you can't throw that ball that far," I'll show it to you. He liked a challenge. Amongst his peers, he was always the guy that everybody wanted on his team. Even on the bus, on the trips, field trips, sports, all the guys huddled around Ivo's, chair, whatever he sat in the bus, and they all just hung around him. He had lots of jokes to tell. He was just lively, and as a young adult, Ivo was aspiring to do a lot of great things. He had a vision. He had a vision of living a coastal lifestyle. We grew up, we're Luos. We grew up by the water. He loves fish. One thing my brother can eat is fish. He can eat it down to the bone.
Nice.
With some ugali and some kachumbari. He loved nyama choma.
So you're typical Kenyan.
Here in America, the food here is a little different. So he often wanted to eat the food from back home.
Okay.
So the aunts here in Richmond would often make him meals whenever they came around to kutanos and things like that, and he loved samosas, chapati. He really appreciated his Kenyan culture. He even sang, some of the songs that are actually quite traditional. Some of the traditional Luo songs that are very deep, like Tingamalo. He knows the whole song.
Your brother was a musician
the whole
too.
song.
He was a musician too. He was into music.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
He wrote his music, and in his music is where my brother started actually writing music at the age of 16, right
Wow.
around 16 evil.
Okay.
He had a composition book, and he wrote his music, and he hid that book underneath his mattress. And he was an introvert at times when he
Okay.
needed to be, but then when he had the opportunity to be more outgoing and social, he did. He was able to cross over and do that. But then most of the time, Ivo kept to himself.
Okay.
He was intuitive. He was slow to anger. He was
Mhm.
quick to bring people together. So whenever there's like a misunderstanding between the household, he would often be the first one,
He'd be the peacemaker.
the peacemaker.
Okay.
Right.
All
Right.
right. That's good. And like when I was peeking through his social media profile, I also noticed he was some kind of also social justice warrior. Like I picked up, like things he was talking about, like racism, and police brutality,
Right.
like things that were happening, and he was telling people to try, and be careful, like because of what's happening out in the streets with the police, and
Mhm.
and it's unfortunate, like he ended up being a victim of the same people he was asking people to be careful of, and like I said, we are celebrating,